What is composting?
Composting is like you rip off the paper and put it in. Then the worms like poop because they eat and then they go to sleep. So that's how they make composting.
Hi everyone, my name is Dominique and this is Roz. We work in 10 city schools to teach kids how to recycle their food scraps, and we're going to show you how to compost under your sink.
The first thing that you'll need is a plastic bin. You want to make about 10 holes so that the worms can breathe. The plastic bin is kind of like the house for the worms. This is where the worms are going to live. And now we're actually going to add some furniture, and the newspaper is the furniture or the bedding. And we want to rip it up about 1 inch, maybe even a little thinner.
After you put in the bedding, you want to add some water?
You don't want it to be too wet nor too dry. You want it to feel like a wrung out sponge, just to the point that it's saturated enough without dripping.
The next step is to add worms.
So the worms, they eat up all the food scraps and newspaper that you put in, and then they poop it out, and you have some worm casting. When it gets a little bit more aged, we call it compost.
For every pound of worms that you add to the bin, you want to add about half a pound of food.
And you want to make sure that whenever you use worms for indoor composting, that you use red worms or red wiggler worms. Once you've placed your worms and they curl down to the bottom, you want to add some food scraps underneath the newspaper.
Different types of food scraps you can add are eggshells, orange peels, apples, any types of greens. You can even add tea bags, but just make sure you remove the staple. You want to add the food scraps to one side of the bin. This way you can keep track of how much food the worms are eating.
If you come back in a week and the food is gone, then you want to add food scraps on the other side. You can make this beautiful, rich, dark compost, and then when you're done with it, you can give it to your street tree.